YouTube family, smash like and subscribe and say hello in the chat. There's less than an hour to kick off, and we have the Liverpool and Real Madrid lineups. I'm LME. He's Jimmy Conrad. No, this is not a Gap commercial. We're buzzing with excitement. The Qué Golazo Champions League final pregame show begins right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Qué Golazo! To celebrate today's festival of soccer across the CBS Sports and Paramount Plus universe, we've got a $100 Paramount Plus subscription to give away. That grants you access to one of the biggest catalogs of live and on-demand content known to mankind. Champions League, Europa Conference League, Serie A, SPFL, NWSL, NFL, movies, Keenan and Kel, you name it. The Sadio Mane documentary, the Road to Paris documentary, it applies to U.S. residents only. And to enter, follow Qué Golazo Pod on Twitter and drop your Twitter handle along with P+ in the chat. Or, for those who are not watching live, in the comment section, and our producer will pick out the lucky winner. We'll announce the winner on Tuesday's World Cup.
Can I enter? Is this
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Is it illegal for me to enter, or how does that work?
Jimmy, you enter away. You can say that your name is Juan Conrado.
There already is a Juan Cuadrado out there. I don't want people to get confused between me and John Square. So
John Square, I love it. Welcome, everybody. Jimmy Conrad, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. This is an incredible game, an incredible 90 minutes that we are in store for between two of the most storied clubs in all of Europe. And some of the best players in the world, including Karim Benzema, who I think has edged in front of everybody else for the Ballon d'Or.
Absolutely. This is the first time I see LME without a cap. Aroldo, this is this is wrong, my friend. You need to, first of all, jump on HQ, and you need to jump on every time my family makes me go to church.
He's all business, though. Aroldo, he's all business right now. That's the thing. He's in studio. You know, he's got no time for kids games right now. It's in the reindeer games. This is the Champions League final. This is the Super Bowl. It's bigger than the Super Bowl. So this is a really special moment. I'm thrilled to be here with the Qué Golazo community and you, of course, LME. So we should just dive into this, man, because I think the starting lineups are out.
Let's do it. We're going to talk about the lineups right now because we're not taking too long in this one. And there they have it. Jimmy is showing them right now, and I'm sure our producer Tess will show it as well. But Real Madrid, let's begin with that, by the way. Here's the Real Madrid lineup. Of course, we have Karim Benzema up top, Vinicius Jr. on one side, Fede Valverde on the right-hand side. The midfield is no surprises to anybody. Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Casemiro. Fun fact, Luis Diaz has a dog. His name is Toni Kroos. There you have it. And Mendy on the left, Dani Carvajal on the other side, Alaba and Militao in the middle with Thibaut, the giant Courtois. Jimmy Conrad, initial thoughts?
Well, I got some fun facts for you. This is the first team to name a starting 11 for a final with four or more different players with 100 or more Champions League appearances. So that's one fun fact. There's only one change from the semifinal. Second leg victory over against Manchester City. David Alaba comes back in for Nacho. And even though I thought Nacho played pretty well in that particular game, Alaba has been quite a linchpin for them. The only other one that I would say, no big surprises anywhere, obviously Vinicius, next level this particular season. Benzema, as I mentioned, world-class player. He got one of the most successful midfields in the history of the game with Kroos, Modric, and Casemiro. I'm sure there might be some people out there to argue with me, but they've got Champions League trophies, and we don't, everybody. But Fede Valverde, I think, starting out wide right is interesting because this is a 90-minute game. There's no other games after this. They don't have to rest for a game on the weekend. This is it. And given how well Rodrigo's been playing and his form and the vital goals that he scored, especially in the Champions League knockout rounds, I thought maybe that was going to be enough for him to get the start. But if you're Ancelotti, you think, okay, Rodrigo can be our super sub, and Fede Valverde can be there to maybe handcuff Andy Robertson when he goes forward, because we know that Fede Valverde is going to do the work on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. We have our usual viewers. Ilias, hello. How are you, my friend?
Ilias?
What's up, Ilias? We have all our usual viewers. Please send in your comments. If you're a Real Madrid fan, tell me what you feel about this lineup. No surprises for me. Not even Valverde, to be honest, Jimmy Conrad. I feel like you need that engine to keep up with the likes of Andy Robertson as well. And you need somebody that's going to be able to shift inside in the middle when it gets a little bit tricky off possession. And guess what? You have the secret weapon later on, Rodrigo, who can just come in and give another dimension. Who, by the way, Jimmy, would you say in that lineup, very quickly, who is somebody that you feel needs a big game in order for Real Madrid to produce?
I'm going to say Dani Carvajal. And I bring him up because just that side of the field has been victimized a little bit. Carvajal in particular, obviously it's going to be really hard to slow down Mbappe when they were playing against PSG. But I just feel like his matchup today against Sadio Mane, who looks like he's going to be starting as somewhat of a false 9 or 9, Luis Diaz to be out wide. He's got a lot of work to do because those guys interchange. Just being disciplined enough. Carlo, he's got to have his hands full, and he's not getting any younger. He's injury prone, so he's probably never ever 100% anymore. Right? He's got so much miles. He's going to be in for it. Mendy versus Mo Salah. Okay, Alaba and Militao have been pretty solid. I think they know. I think Courtois is going to have to step up and make a couple big saves for sure for them to stay in the conversation like he has been. But there's something about Carvajal that I think that Liverpool are probably looking at. If they were going to circle, if I'm Jurgen Klopp, I'm circling one name on that starting lineup that I'm just going to go after on Madrid. It probably is Carvajal.
Yeah, very good note. And Casemiro, don't get a yellow card in the first 10 minutes. Can you do that, Casemiro? Just keep it card free before that. It's going to be a big game.
That guy's a magician, though, at like not getting cards. He had that tackle from behind against in Manchester, the second leg.
Should have been a booking.
Two-footed Kevin De Bruyne from behind or whatever, and nothing. I don't know how he does it. He dabbles in the dark arts for sure. I don't know. He gives
the evil looks to the ref, and he's like, "You're not going to do anything." And the ref,
okay,
yeah, I won. All right, let's move on to the Liverpool lineup. By the way, Liverpool starting 11. We had to wait a little later, but here it is. Up top, nothing really surprising. Lucho Diaz, the Colombian, 7 contributions in goal in the Premier League. We know that he's arguably the best acquisition from any club in January, of course. Now Sadio Mane, as well, as you were talking about him and how instrumental he can be up top. Mohamed Salah, Jordan Henderson, Thiago Alcantara starts, massive for Liverpool. Fabinho as well, right behind those front two. And then Andy Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Konate, with Van Dijk and Alisson between the sticks. Thoughts there, Jimmy Conrad?
My thoughts are this is probably their best starting 11. And the fact that they're healthy after 62 games of a season where they've only lost 3 of those 62 games, everybody, and they've scored in 57 of those 62 games, really speaks to how well Jurgen Klopp is managing this team and making sure they're peaking at the right time. Obviously, they fell a little bit short in the Premier League due to a very good Manchester City team, but they won 2 other cup competitions. This is their 3rd chance to get another cup in this season, which would be a pretty remarkable treble. Thiago, I don't know if he's 100%. Van Dijk, I don't know if he's 100%. Fabinho, I don't know if he's 100%, right? So you have some question marks around some of these players, but as I mentioned before, there's no game on the weekend. They don't have to, or next week or midweek. They get to rest after this. And I feel like if you have a player that you've leaned on and give a good amount of responsibility to, and he's 75, 80%, I'd prefer to probably go with that guy for as long as you can, and then you bring on the subs as opposed to the opposite, and maybe them trying to dictate the game later on. Thiago in particular, I think you need him to set the tone, be able to, especially in that first 15, 20, 30 minutes when Liverpool really like to go at you. I think it's important to have him there and involved and really being, I'll say a deep line playmaker because he does get forward, but I think he sets the rhythm for Liverpool and really picks his spots about when to spray it long or when to play it short. And when he's not in the team, they just play a little bit different.
Yeah, a 70% Thiago Alcantara is enough for Jurgen Klopp, I think. Alejandro, thank you so much for your comment. Feels like Liverpool has the potential to produce a blowout, but Real Madrid has a team of destiny run here. So hoping that levels into a very entertaining final. We're definitely going to get into that. Alejandro, thank you so much for your comment. We're going to take a break, a very quick break. When we come back, what players to watch out for? Jimmy will give us a little bit about, the eternal question, who needs this more, Liverpool or Real Madrid? He needs a break to think about this one because it's kind of a tough one, and our predictions as well. We're going to take a break. Qué Golazo, Jimmy Conrad, LME, and we'll be right back.
Sonic the Hedgehog, you're no match for me.
Nice. This is your moment to be the big hero. Oh, great, the Winter Soldier.
It is my destiny to destroy you. Work smarter, not harder.
Hang on! That wasn't too bad.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, rated PG, now streaming on Paramount+.
Welcome back, everybody. Qué Golazo Champions League final. This is our final preview, our lineup preview before the big game, Liverpool against Real Madrid. Jimmy Conrad in the house. We're going to do a post as well. Right after HQ, we're coming here to Qué Golazo. So after HQ and all your CBS Sports and Paramount Plus content, stay with us on Qué Golazo with Jimmy and I, and maybe a special guest who will come in and discuss. Hey, Jimmy, the first thing, by the way, did you know that the Qué Golazo merch store is live?
What?
That's why I'm wearing a snapback, because I'm waiting for my Qué Golazo snapback, Jimmy Conrad.
This is new news to me, and I'm excited. I want some Qué Golazo swag in my life. I don't know, where do we get it? Where is it?
What a great question, my friend. All you got to do is make sure that as you're watching this, the link is in the description. Click on that link and you will see all our beautiful Qué Golazo merchandise, including hats, t-shirts. I don't know what else is out there, but Qué Golazo merch. So you can go all over your town, your school, your high school, your job, a wedding. Hell, wear that Qué Golazo hat and be like, where did you get that from? And
do we have any Luis Miguel Echegaray underwear coming with your face on the butts? Like those old underoos? I used to have a pair of underoos that had Yoda's face on the butt.
Yeah,
I guess not. All I'm seeing are hats and hoodies right here, but these are sweet.
Whiteys. I tell you what, they do have a Jimmy Conrad hoodie, Qué Golazo. Look at that one, buddy.
Wow.
It's so good. So listen, make sure that you check it out, everybody. Go to the description, the link. The link is in the description, I'm sorry, and that's where you can see the Qué Golazo merch. All right, let's get back to business. We're nearly done here, just about over 15 minutes to go. Jimmy will have to leave us a little earlier because he's going to do HQ duties. I'll be there as well post-game. But let's talk about the players a little bit more. I know that you mentioned Dani Carvajal on one side as well, questioning Valverde maybe a little bit, but there's so much talent everywhere from both sides. Which players are you watching out for? Maybe an individual matchup that you're specifically focusing on?
No, it's a great question. I think that there's some really tantalizing matchups in this particular game. Van Dijk, arguably the best center back in the world, versus Karim Benzema, arguably the best number 9 and best player in the world. That is going to be awesome. And I wonder, I guess, where Benzema is going to try to set up, because I don't think he's going to stand right next to Van Dijk. I don't think he wants to get into a mano-a-mano. I don't think that not that he can't handle himself, but I think that he's going to lack consistency because Van Dijk's going to win some of those battles. So I think he's going to probably try to set up closer to Konate, or if he does have Van Dijk, I would expect to see Benzema maybe dropping into midfield, which then creates some passing lanes to play up over the top. Now, Fede Valverde maybe is not much of a slasher. I think he can go forward, but maybe look for that a little bit more when Rodrigo comes in as a super sub. But Vinicius, obviously, he's getting in behind and doing it very well, especially when Benzema drops in. It's kind of honestly similar to Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. When the number 9 drops in, the winger goes up and goes forward and tries to create that verticality. So that's one to watch. Thiago versus Luka Modric. I mean, that is, I don't know how much they're going to be running around each other, but just that midfield battle in general is going to be pretty fantastic. I mean, you got some really experienced players. Jordan Henderson, the captain, is going to be there. Toni Kroos, Casemiro, Fabinho, Thiago. I mean, we're talking about some of the best midfielders in the world. So that's going to be great. Then Vinicius Jr. versus Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I look at this two ways, because at times, Liverpool play a very high line, and we saw Man City try to do the same thing, and that's when Vinicius Jr. now, mind you, Fernandinho was playing right back here, but he rolls Fernandinho and then strolls in and scores, from midfield. Nobody slides over to step, and I have an issue with that with Laporte and any of the other defenders out there, but you got to be careful. And Madrid are comfortable with the chaos. They're comfortable with giving up leads. They're comfortable with giving up possession. They can still slap you around at any time. You always have to be alert, and that gives me some pause with Trent, who at times, I think, does switch off, and you can get inside of him. Not because he's not capable of it, but I just think he commits so much energy going forward, and that's where his instincts are. He loves playing good passes and playing forward and whipping in crosses. That marking Vinicius, he's probably like, I'll do it, but I don't really want to do it. You know what I mean, Elemi?
I think actually that's specifically from last year when Real Madrid took advantage. Whenever they would retain the ball once again, they would long ball and specifically focus on Vinicius Jr. Trent Alexander-Arnold was already so high up.
Mm-hmm.
There was not much to do. So this one, very good point on that battle. One that we haven't mentioned yet are the goalkeepers. Thibaut Courtois, the Belgian, against the Brazilian Alisson. Both have been instrumental in this Champions League. Here's a nice graphic for you, as you can see the comparisons. Obviously, the save percentage goes clearly on Thibaut Courtois. He actually leads the Champions League in saves, but that actually has to do a lot with how Real Madrid have been a little bit shaky off the back, Liverpool having a stronger lineup. And look at 52 saves, Jimmy Conrad, to Alisson's 15.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
But he's only given up 14 goals, and Alisson's given up 13. So I don't know. I mean, It's that's an interesting stat, and I hadn't.
Well, who
looked
do
at
you
from
give
that
it to?
perspective.
Because obviously, as the game develops, we can talk about the 90 minutes and extra time situation. One-on-ones, I think I would go with Alisson. Sort of reactionary stuffs, maybe Courtois. I don't know. But what about if it goes to penalties? How important they're going to be in that situation?
Yeah, it's a bit of a coin flip. I think that what Alisson needs to take into consideration is that when you look at how Real Madrid got to this point and got to the final, some of it was from goalkeeper errors. So Donnarumma with PSG makes an ill-advised pass across his goal, which ends up leading to really giving the momentum to Madrid, and somehow they figure out a way to score 2 more to get through. And then against Chelsea, that game at Stamford Bridge was 3-1 in leg 1. And it wasn't as one-sided as that scoreline I think really shows. I think Real Madrid did what they needed to do for 20 minutes. They scored 2 goals, 2 great headers from Benzema. And then there's a mistake right after halftime by Mendy, the goalkeeper, who was up until that point probably the goalkeeper of the season, right? Because he'd won the Africa Cup of Nations. They just booked their ticket to the World Cup, or they were close to doing that. And he just was in good form. And then he makes a mistake that's so uncharacteristic for him, but Madrid pounce. And then again, that goal ended up proving to be the difference, even though I know Chelsea took the lead at the Bernabeu and all that. But at that moment, it just gave Madrid a little bit more belief that maybe they deserved, all things being equal. And I feel like Alisson just has to avoid that. However, we've seen in Alisson's past that he does make a mistake from time to time. Now, I don't think he's going to be Loris Karius type mistakes when these two teams played against each other in the final in 2018. But that is just something they have to be aware of. And he needs to be very active off his line from Alisson's perspective. Courtois just needs to keep doing what he's doing. He's been making some unbelievable saves. We saw with City, he made that Jack Grealish save where he barely gets a toe on it and pushes it wide. I mean, we might not even be talking about Madrid in this situation without Courtois. I don't think we would be. So he has to keep doing what he's doing. And I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again. You can't win anything of consequence without a hot goalkeeper. And whoever steps up and makes more of the plays is probably going to be the one with the trophy over their head at the end.
Well, I think Liverpool fans in 2018 will definitely agree with you in that one. Sorry, Carriers, for that. A shocking result. All right. Well, listen, let's talk about the question that I said before the break. It's not an easy one, of course, as well. Desnor is a good point. I think it's fair to say, Jimmy Conrad, that Mohamed Salah, this is massive for him. 2018 was just devastating. The way that it happened, the injury and everything. How important do you think, and how amped up? And I guess it's a stupid question because I'm sure he's very amped up, but there's a difference between being amped up and being focused and being ready on the job at hand. How prepared and how important is it? And there you have that image, of course, with the Sergio Ramos injury. It was devastating for Mohamed Salah. But how important is it today for Mohamed Salah to not let the emotions of 2018 carry over him and do a job? Because it could very well happen.
Well, what's interesting is we've had a couple Mo Salah revenge games this particular season, and it wasn't for the club, but it's for his country, right? They lost to Senegal in the Africa Cup of Nations. They play against Senegal twice to book their ticket to the World Cup. I'm speaking of Egypt, his national team. And not that he didn't come out and perform in those 2 games, but I feel like we could see a similar vibe. He for me, Mo Salah just needs to get the ball in good spots. If he has to, I'm not saying he's not scared to do the work, but if they push him wide or he's got to drop deeper to go get it, it just means more guys are going to kick him and tackle him. And there's no Sergio Ramos, so he doesn't have to worry about any arm bars or whatever that Sergio Ramos dabbles in. But I do think that I worry that if you have a too emotional Mo Salah, that might not be in the best interest of the team. I feel like when Mo Salah is at his best, as we can see when he's at peace, when he feels free to be himself, and he's all vibes, I mean, I'm glad he scored in the last. From a Liverpool perspective, you're happy that Mo Salah scored on the last day of the season to kind of get a little bit of that mojo back, because when he scores in bunches, he scores one, it's going to turn into scoring in 10 straight games, and you hope that he shows up today. I do think that with Mendy and Alaba out there for Real Madrid, you've got 2 grizzled veterans. You got guys that know how to play defense, and you got Casemiro sliding over, looking to protect that space in that area as well when Mo Salah cuts in, right? When he goes from inside or outside to in. Very Arjen Robben-esque as well, where you're like, all right, he's going to his left. I don't think anybody can stop him, but you just have to put some bodies between the ball and the goal to make that happen. It's interesting. I don't know which version we're going to see of Mo Salah. I hope it's the one that plays free and is enjoying himself, because when I think he puts the weight of the world on his shoulders, and I think he still has that, especially with his contract situation, sometimes that can work against you.
Yeah, absolutely. But very important for Salah to even be here and start. People, Liverpool fans, of course, were worried in the FA Cup final when he came off, but didn't come off, but he didn't start, but he did feature towards the end. And now obviously he starts, so that should be good. All right, well, we don't have that long to go, by the way. But yes, they meet again. As you can see, Real Madrid, every time they've been in the final, definitely in the last 7 times, they've won every single time, apart from 1981, when they were defeated, of course, by Liverpool as well. So, if you were an HQ, you could see that the predictions were already there and stuff. Before we get into that, the eternal question, Jimmy Conrad, here it is. The hard one, the difficult one. It's been difficult for everybody to answer. In fact, Michael Lahoud and James Bench went at it earlier this week about this, but who needs this more?
I guess with recency bias, I would say Madrid, because they got spurned by Kylian Mbappe. So there's some element of, if we win this, we don't need Kylian Mbappe. We just won La Liga. We just won the Champions League. Who cares about Kylian Mbappe? So I think winning this trophy, as much as you don't want to make it about one player, but this is a once-in-a-generation type player, you kind of give him the middle finger in some capacity by saying we don't need you. However, I still think he's going to end up at Madrid just in 3 years once he's done with this next contract, which would be really funny if everybody's giving him the bird now and then he has to oh, we're sorry, man, we love you, come to the team, so I think there's an element of that from a Real Madrid perspective, and obviously they're the most decorated team in this competition, and long may that continue from their side. With regard to Liverpool, I think with some recency bias with them as well, just missed out on winning the league, did almost everything you possibly could. They only lost 2 games domestically all season. I mean, that is ridiculous how well they played this season. And the 2 games that they lost, they shouldn't even have lost, LME. It was the 3-2 loss at London Stadium against West Ham. Sadio Mane missed an absolute wide open header at the back post, and he put it like an inch wide, which would have made it 3-3. Now, I know everything in the balance. He probably had some games where they shouldn't have won, but they did, or got a draw when they shouldn't have. I understand how all that works. But they also lost to Southampton, and it was 0-0 at the time. Mo Salah missed a penalty. Penalty comes back out to him. He got saved. He heads it, hits the crossbar. It's one of those games. We're talking about them losing 2 games by a goal where they probably should have got a result in those 2. And for them to still go on to lose the league really speaks to how good Manchester City have been this particular season. But what I really love about Liverpool is their mentality. Like, they're in every single game, and they always have a chance. And we're saying the same thing about Madrid, especially in this competition. So in terms of who needs it more, I don't know, either one. I mean, they win all this stuff all the time. I don't know if there's one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't feel that sorry for them.
I don't either.
Need that more, because listen, since 2013, 2014, either Liverpool or Real Madrid have been in the final only 3 times. It hasn't happened since that time. They're just, you have the most successful side in this competition, and then you have the most successful English side in this competition. And, there's a lot at stake this summer for both Mohamed Salah's contract, Sadio Mane, and his, questionable, tidbits and quotes regarding his own future, because Bayern Munich are interested in one. And the other side, to your point, Kylian Mbappe not making it, staying with PSG, that is sour for Florentino Perez. He does not like to lose at all. So it's going to be intriguing to see what happens. In terms of who needs this more, I'm going with the very first thing that you said. Real Madrid need this more. They need this right now, specifically to make this happen. All right. Well, let's talk about predictions for a second there, Jimmy Conrad, before you leave us, because we don't have that long with you. And I'll stick around for a little bit longer, everybody, if you have questions, and just to wrap everything up. But give me your prediction, my friend. This is it. A coin flip final, a 50 final. Tell me.
I mean, when you look at Madrid, they've knocked out 3 legitimate contenders to win this, right? They took down PSG miraculously. They took down Chelsea, the defending champions, somewhat miraculously. And then they beat Manchester City with a couple. I mean, this is crazy how they've done it. They've taken a couple scalps from the Premier League, Chelsea, Man City, and now they got Liverpool in their sights. I mean, at some point you think their luck's going to run out. And as much as every time I go against Madrid, they win. So I'm all the Madridistas like, please go against us. I am going to. I think that Liverpool are better on paper, and I think that over 90 minutes. I just want to say that it's taken Madrid over 180 minutes in all their knockout rounds to go get a result. And I think in 90 minutes, with everybody being healthy in these starting lineups, I think that Liverpool will have enough to make the difference. But I think both teams will score. I got 2-1 Liverpool. That's my prediction.
Well, there you have it. Well, I have 2-1 on Real Madrid. I'm the only one in our team that's picked Real Madrid, so there will be egg on my face or drinks on everybody else.
Yeah, I'll buy you all your you want if Madrid come through.
Hey, by the way, according to some reporters, including James Pierce as well, Liverpool reporter, Thiago currently doing his own warm-up with one of the fitness staff. Naby Keita is warming up with other starters, and Thiago's having a deep discussion with Klopp before going.
I told you, if you're going to roll those guys out, you got to roll them at the start and see how long they can go.
So don't be surprised if there is a switch at the very end. Jimmy Conrad, thank you, brother.
For having me, everybody. Qué Golazo for life.
Qué Golazo for life. Bye, Jimmy. Well, that was Jimmy Conrad, everybody. We are nearly getting ready. We're 20 minutes away from the starting of this game. Kickoff Liverpool against Real Madrid. We've given you the lineups. We've given you our predictions. If you have any questions or any comments, please send them my way right now before I shoot off as well, as I will be getting ready for the game. One thing that I will tell you, by the way, as I give you the biggest updates, is that this pitch in Stade de France was just put yesterday. It's a very recent, very fresh, clean set of grass. So I don't know if that makes any kind of difference. But it's not a battle-ridden pitch. It's not a pitch that's been played for the last few weeks or even last few months. This is brand new pitch. So how that ball flows will be intriguing as well. There was a lot of commotion towards this game. In fact, people are still trying to get into the stadium because of traffic and how that's been affecting both sides. Liverpool, in fact, didn't even get into the stadium until about an hour ago. So they've been like 45 minutes in a schedule later than Real Madrid. By the time Real Madrid were on the pitch checking it out, Liverpool were still just entering the stadium. I don't know if that's a factor. Kylian Mbappé staying at PSG, is that a factor for Real Madrid? What do you think? Does that weigh on the minds of the players, of Carlo Ancelotti? We know it weighs on the minds of the fans, but the players at this point are the most important. By the way, a call to action, a reminder that we're giving away a Paramount Plus giveaway card today. All you got to do is follow us on Qué Golazo Pod and write in P+. That's it. Give us your handle and we'll pick a random winner. We've already done it with a bunch of people. Jerry Ford, Dave Sepperson, they've already won significant, well, not significant, just one Paramount Plus giveaway card, but we're still giving them away, by the way. And it looks, by the way, latest reports that there is a late change for Liverpool. Keita finishing the warm-up with the rest of the starters, and Jurgen Klopp has his arm around him as they walk off down the tunnel. So it seems that maybe we won't see Thiago Alcantara in this game. It might be Naby Keita. That is massive. What do you think, Liverpool fans? They thought that they could weigh in and gamble with Thiago Alcantara. Maybe this is a mind game thing. Thiago Alcantara was never meant to start, but they just, gave that out to see if it could happen. But watch out for that. Naby Keita might be starting ahead of Thiago Alcantara. On the other side, Real Madrid, you know exactly what you will get with them. Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Casemiro in the middle, Militao, Alaba, Carvajal, Mendy, and of course Karim Benzema leading up top with Vinicius Jr. and Valverde. Final questions for yours truly. Please send them your way, but we're getting ready to say goodbye just under 20 minutes before kickoff. But it looks once again that there might be a late change for Liverpool FC, as Naby Keita could replace Thiago Alcantara in this game. A reminder that Carlo Ancelotti is going for his quadruple, and he would become the most successful manager in Champions League history. Zinedine Zidane, Bob Paisley did it with 3. He could get 4 if he wins today. Jurgen Klopp winning the League Cup and FA Cup, meaning that he's won everything with Liverpool. He just wants another Champions League trophy. We have some questions. By the way, no, we don't have any questions, but I think everybody's just getting ready, right? I think you guys are just, getting your couch, whatever you're watching, and getting ready to watch this game. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will give you my prediction to wrap things off. This is a very difficult game to predict. Like we said before, it's a 50-50. It's a coin flip. I don't know what will happen in this game, but ultimately you have to go with a winner. You have on one side Liverpool right now, but you know what they bring. You know the identity that they have. It's heavy metal, gegenpressing, very good with possession type of football. This is Jurgen Klopp's record right now in the Champions League. He's a finalist this season, quarterfinalist last year, and then look, it's always been the furthest he's been with Liverpool, the least successful, at least in the recent years, has been round of 16. Everything else has been quarterfinals, finalists, champions, and runner-up. You can't deny that record. But I have to tell you that the narrative of this Champions League of 2021-2022 has been on Real Madrid. PSG, we thought they would lose. They didn't. Chelsea, we thought they would lose. They didn't. Manchester City, with 20 minutes to go, we thought they would lose. And they didn't. They took it all the way to extra time, and Real Madrid took advantage. And I have to tell you that it's in their DNA to win. It's in their DNA to be successful. They see what's in front of them, and they don't care. They rip it apart. Everybody else in my team here, Jimmy Conrad, Ian Pooljoy, Poppy Miller, Daniel Sturridge, Luis Garcia, James Bench, Jonathan Johnson, I think even Fabrizio Romano, they have all gone for Liverpool. I'm not going for Liverpool. I think it's going to be Real Madrid's day. Look at that trio. And we haven't even talked about Rodrigo, by the way. Somebody that can come in late in the game, Eduardo Camavinga, and that's it. That's how you win these games. Not with your starting 11, but with your squad. And with that, I say Real Madrid wins this 2-1 within 90 minutes. Final question, could Bale go out with a bang and win the Champions League? I think he's going out regardless, Elias, whether he sees the pitch or not. But I think it's going to be a Real Madrid evening. We'll see if I'm wrong. And I'll have definitely egg on my face because I'm the only one that picked them for CBS Sports HQ. But anyway, enjoy the game. 15 minutes to go. Don't forget to be with us right after CBS Sports HQ. And then around 7 p.m., if there's no extra time, 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be here with Jimmy Conrad as well. And maybe Jonathan Johnson to discuss. 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, my fault. If there are no penalties and extra time. We'll be here at 6 p.m. Eastern. Jimmy Conrad, hopefully Jonathan Johnson, maybe even Daniel Sturridge will come in and give us his thoughts, depending on how the game goes. Have a fantastic, fantastic Champions League final. Enjoy. Don't forget to follow Qué Golazo Pod on Twitter. And make sure to go to the link in the description to get all that Qué Golazo merch. Till then, see you later. Bye-bye.